stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no other mortal dared to dream before.
Some of you may call me mad, twisted, tortured, an evil genius, perhaps insane. But who are you people to judge me?
When I hear the name Raven, I think of my worst enemy.
There's a fine line between genius and insanity, and Raven, I think, is that fine line.
A lot of people don't know Raven's IQ is Mensa level, and he's brilliant. He really is. But at times he would also tell you he's brilliant. Raven loves and cares for this business like no other person I've ever met.
Innovative, creative, divergent, a psychological genius, a genuine outlier and misfit.
Raven's approach to professional wrestling was, if anyone's ever done it that way, I'm not sure that I want to do it.
He is thinking on a higher level than anybody else in this business.
Raven had this innate ability to reinvent himself all the time, keeping himself fresh forever. He did that especially here in Impact Wrestling.
I think he was unselfish in trying to establish other talent, not only to create what he saw as something that was going to be really great for the wrestling business, but also great for them.
I think of gratitude for a man who saw something in a young Alexis 3 and specifically chose me to be part of the gathering, which launched my entire career.
Luke Skywalker had Darth Vader. Batman had the Joker. Tommy Dreamer had Raven. Without Raven, there'd be no Tommy Dreamer.
What the hell? That's Raven! He's got the belt! He's taking the belt! He's got the belt!
If Raven didn't come to TNA Wrestling, Impact Wrestling when he did, I'm not sure we'd be standing here today.
He infused life into this company when it was most needed. And that's part of the greatness of Raven.
He inspired this entire locker room. I don't think you have somebody like Abyss who went on to be one of the biggest figures in Impact Wrestling history without somebody like Raven working with him.
People were drawn to him without even knowing why they were drawn to him. And Raven, coming to TNA Wrestling, coming to Impact Wrestling, was really one of the guys that made people look around and go, okay, I think that's worth following.
Raven is everything I loved about professional wrestling. It was dark, it was gritty, it was professional wrestling of today before it was today. He is everything that embodies what a professional wrestler should be, whatever a Hall of Famer should be.
A genius mind that drove so much forward should always be acknowledged, and that's absolutely what he did. I just want to say congratulations to you, Raven, for everything you've accomplished in this business. Thank you for everything you have taught me and helped me along the way.
Raven, from the bottom of my heart, I can't think of a better person to be inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. Congratulations, and you deserve it more than just damn near everybody.
We were complete opposites, but somehow got along, and congratulations, this is very deserved, and it drives me insane that I have to put you over, but congratulations.
You brought me to the next level during our feud in 2003, and you left an indelible mark on my career, just like I left an indelible mark on your head when I scalped you on live TV.
Thank you for all you've done for me. Thank you for everything you've done for Impact Wrestling, and there's nobody more deserving of this honor than Raven. So welcome to the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Fuck the Raven, nevermore.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tommy Dreamer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bound for Glory. Thank you for being here. I gotta tell you, 3 weeks ago, Scott D'Amore came up to me and he said, Tommy, I gotta talk to you about the Hall of Fame. And at that moment, my heart stopped. Everything seemed to freeze. And he said, we all voted, and we know it should be you. And I gotta tell you, my entire career flashed in front of my eyes. I said, man, my family's here. My mom's still alive. She's going to be able to see this honor. I can't believe this is happening to me. And like when someone gets on a knee and proposes, I jumped up in Scott's arms and I said, yes, Scott, yes. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. And he said, Tommy, we all voted that it was you to induct Raven into the Hall of Fame. And even when he cannot wrestle, I'm still doing the job for Raven. I've known Raven since summer camp. And when we all talk about reinventing ourselves, Raven reinvented himself before it was cool. In the 1990s, Raven burst upon the scene. He was grunge. He was counterculture. He was the anti-hero. He was everything that that generation was all about. And I'm going to tell you something, because I could talk about all the titles, I could talk about all the accomplishments, but I'm going to tell you something about Raven that a lot of you may not know. Raven is a legit genius. He has a Mensa IQ. Just ask him, he will tell you. But Raven did something that a lot of people back then did not do. Raven believed in people. He believed in the underdog, and he went out each and every week and did it with his body and his blood. And without Raven, yes, there'd be no Tommy Dreamer, but there would be no Stevie Richards, the Blue Meanie, Nova. There would be no Beulah McGillicuddy, Francine, and Kimona. There would be no Dudley Boys. He gave opportunity to CM Punk, and there would be no Mickey James without Raven believing in people. As we get older, we get more reflective. I gotta tell you, when I come out here, you all make me feel so much younger, so much thinner. But when you're older, you also realize that we work for moments, and you give us those moments. And what I wouldn't do to experience one more moment with Raven, because when I would get DDT'd and I'd look up and I'd wipe the blood out of my eyes and he would hit his pose, I never realized I was in a moment, and a moment of greatness that I can never have again. For that, because I know he never appreciated it either. So for everyone here and everyone at home, thank you for giving us those moments. And please shower the greatness of Raven. And it is my honor to induct the latest entrant in the 2022 Impact Wrestling's Hall of Fame, Raven!
Thank you for this honor. People who know me know I can be a smartass, egotistical, loud, basically a dick. It comes from having narcissistic and histrionic personality disorder, as well as being severely ADD and self-destructive. Not qualities that are great for succeeding in life, but qualities that are fantastic in a professional wrestler. I had a void in me that I foolishly felt would be fulfilled by the adulation of perfect strangers, but I soon found out not only did it not fulfill the void, but that the cheers somehow felt false. The boos, however, made me feel like I was back in the womb. The cheers, on some level, I guess I felt I didn't deserve the cheers, but the boos felt like I was at home. It's joy to my soul. I started in Memphis then Florida Championship Wrestling, then Vancouver and Portland, before moving on to the national companies or worldwide companies. But I was lucky enough to be the last guy to go through the territory system, and then be a featured player in the modern era. Being in the territory system, I learned so much so fast that I was able to quickly become a successful individual on the national stage. But I couldn't have got there without the grappler Lynn Denton. He was the booker in Portland, and because I was the green kid, I had to drive him to all the shows. I say had to, but what I really mean is I was blessed to, because I got to pick his brain. I got to pick the brain of a true booking wizard. And it was like he wouldn't just out and out teach you. He made you ask the right questions. But if you ask the right questions, like for example, like I go, hey, listen, I've been doing this for a while now. I've always wanted to do it. I want to be in a cage match. Instead of saying yes or no, he goes, well, okay, but what are you going to do the week before to build to it? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, come back tomorrow and let me know. Let me know what you think of. So I thought of it. I thought about it. Came back. He goes, all right. He goes, what are you going to do the week before that? I go, I don't know. And he taught me how to think serially, how to book serially. He was teaching me how to book at only 2 years in the business. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. He'll never know how much he meant to my career. No matter how many times I've tried to tell him, I don't think he realizes how much of an influence he was. Ignore the tremor in my hand. I have a shoulder disorder. And I may be a little nervous, because you guys are cheering me. How about a few boos, though, to make me feel comfortable? Thank you. Another huge influence, equally influential in my career, is Paul Heyman. By the time I got to ECW, my career had grown by leaps and bounds, and creatively, Paulie allowed me to do whatever I wanted. Just about, unless it was just, he even let me crucify a Sandman. So he let me do what I wanted. He made me go apologize, but, times are tough. But I'll tell you what, the stuff I did there, the feud I had with Dreamer and the feud I had with Sandman, I'll put up against any feuds in the history of the business, and I guarantee they stack up. I would have stayed there forever, but money was offered, and more money was offered, so I went to WCW. That was a really good move, except, well, my self-destructiveness and my ego got in the way, and suffice to say, I quit the company prematurely. So the less said, the better. After that, I got clean and sober and finally went to WWE. Unfortunately, that was a miserable experience. But it had one positive, a huge one. I finally started seeing a psychiatrist to deal with my personality disorders and my ego. Egotism is a manifestation of insecurity. And I'd always been massively insecure. Since then, I've done a lot of work, and hopefully I'm a better person today. After WWE let me go, I thought, what a lousy cap to my television career. But then TNA came a-calling. I got another half a dozen years plus out of my TV career, and for the most part, that was used like I felt I was deserved. I hated the 3.5-hour drive to Nashville, but for the most part, I was happy there. From there, my life comes full circle, and here I am back for the Hall of Fame. Oops, lose my notes. I'm back at the Hall of Fame for Impact because let's face it, Memphis, first it was Memphis Championship Wrestling, then it was TNA, and then it became Impact. So everything's come full circle. I'm back where I started. It's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can't ever leave. There are so many people I want to thank, like Sandman, Lodi, Saturn, but there's not enough time, and my true friends, they know how much they mean to me. They all do. However, there's one person I want to single out, and that's Tommy. I want to thank Tommy for inducting me. I want to thank him for being the yin to my yang. I want to thank him for being the babyface to my heel, and I especially want to thank him for being my partner in a 28-year feud that finally ends tonight. Thank you. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Oh my God. This is one of the best induction speeches I've ever seen because Tommy Dreamer eats an even flow DDT one more time.